You talking to me?
Talking to me?
You're talking to me?
Are you talking to me?
Are you talking to me, man?
No, you must not be talking to me. What's up?
Show us what you got. Show us what you got.
I'm working on these really awesome hood hinges. Other video. No. Working on the seat for the 57.
These don't look like your average 57 seats though.
They got a little bit more time into them than a 57. If I can make them not fall. They're a little back heavy. Now they start out as like 68 or 70 Impala Chevelle style seats. And then we cut them down 2.5 inches to make them more proportional in the car. And then on this one's mocked up so far. But I used the seat sides for the 57 and cut them down so they fit proportional to these seats, so they look like they're supposed to be on there.
That looks awesome, man.
They still fold forward, back on them.
And so you pretty much started on these from scratch?
All they were was a bare frame. Made all the foam from scratch. The foam started out as that. Here's the back seat.
Yeah, I was wondering where you had been. I mean,
I've been in this room.
It's
not my normal room.
You've been in every single video for like a 1 or 2 liner, and I'm like, well, where's Zach been? Because
you can't even hear me in the background, like making fun of it.
Well, I didn't even know anyone was still back here since Bruce and Will have been up there, so I've abandoned coming back here.
But I had to make the rear. I mean, these seats are 100% scratch made.
Man, that is awesome.
Just like scratch kitchen. No, that commercial is so annoying. But they had to go around the mini tub.
I like that concave too that you added in the seat. Looks nice and comfy.
Oh, they're real comfortable.
Gonna look good. I bet you can't wait to be done with them.
I still got a lot more interior to do. I still gotta do doors, rear quarters, package tray, kick panel, carpet, console, headliner, and I've already got a week into these. But these had a lot of, I think I spent all night last night cutting these down and then finishing that out.
Is that after I left?
Yeah. I was here till 12:30 last night.
Wow. Might as well just
jumpy as all get out. I had the bay doors open, and I'm sitting there welding, and every time I turn around, I hear a noise, and I'm like, "Who was that?
Who that? Who there?
Who that? Who be there?
I'm just trying to work on the interior.
On this interior. Who that be?"
What's going on?
Doing what we do.
You get your weather channel installed?
Weather channel? I got it all installed. What's the forecast? Windows in. Quarter glass in. From the windows to the walls. Trim on. Where's that piece? We're running out of pieces to put on.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, but there's more. There's more.
There's always more.
Running out of pieces right now that we can put on.
Oh, I see.
These window regulars are just like wire them up and fire them up.
Just steal it, Bruce. Just steal it.
See what?
Take the pieces outside.
Look,
use it at night. Then just take that side back off. Take that side back off and just sit both those back window pieces and those other ones back.
I'm sure some more panels installed will help hold it in place.
Yeah, it'll help like keep it from vibrating in the wind.
Nice. Fancy.
Wire them up and fire them up. This one's the same thing. This one's a little smoother. wire them up and fire them up. We gotta do the other door, but we're still waiting on some chrome pieces, and we can't do the window yet. I got the regulator in there. I got the tracks in. We got the glass ready to go. We're waiting on that piece to come in. And after we get that in, we can put it together. So now I'm about to start putting the bumper together. We were waiting for this to come in the mail, and it was sitting above the office the whole time.
Oh man. Then you find it. Man, that is
Shiny.
And this is the original, just refinished? Or you don't know?
I'd be lying if I answered you, so I don't know. It looks
What'd you think of yesterday's episode?
Bunch of talking.
I think that we're finally getting somewhere with this channel.
Southwest Classic.
I guess they got a problem.
Eric!
What's up, Doug?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Bad. What are you up to today?
Nothing much. Checking out the progress, everything. Each day that goes by, more and more stuff gets put together.
Forever forward.
Yeah, you got a leak in oil here?
Oh, only because I changing the oil pressure sending unit.
Oh, gotcha.
Took it down the road today. A little on the wild side.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't have any traction in the back.
That's for sure.
If you take this thing out for a test drive, I may need to go with you.
I did. Drove it to Roadmaster. No further yet. But you can see the dash is in.
Oh, really?
Well, it was. I just took it out because I have to rewire something.
Oh, gotcha. I'll stop by here in a little
Glove
bit.
box, ashtray. It's all in.
I just survived a rare encounter with Austin.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
How'd that go for you?
Surprisingly unscathed. So he was trying to push different buttons on the camera.
He probably knows nothing about a camera.
And that's good for me.
Good for you, yeah.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing is flaring all the brake line fittings for these AN aluminum fittings. We use stainless line.
Let me see
And
that
then,
in.
That's a single flare, 37 degree. That's what you use on AN. Double flare won't hold up with these aluminum threads. I'm trying to compress them. So we got this sweet tool that uses this spinny turret. So if you're doing double flares, the first option you do is the bubble, and then you spin it around to option 2, which flares it. It makes the job really nice and simple. And we got a new tool Steven's holding right there. It's a lapper. You think like lapping valves, grinding the seats, making them square. That it does that with just like that. It does that with brake flares.
Pretty neat.
So all those times you're tightening up a fitting and you still can't get it to stop leaking, throw that baby on there. We're gonna make it standard practice to
Put that little bad dude in there.
grind the seats.
I think it actually sits like that. Must use WD-40. You can actually see it doing
Nice
work.
little-
Doing work,
Little
son.
flat spot.
Doing work.
Come on, hold it. Hold it. Everybody always like throws it up real fast and it's like, there it goes.
Zooming.
Well, just finding focus.
They're gonna be like, man, Steve's nails are kind of long.
Yeah. I don't see how you let your nails get that long. I
trimmed
bite them off.
I trimmed them yesterday.
This isn't the 80s, Steven.
trim them yesterday. He's the wolf of Wall Street.
He is. I've got a.
The wolf of Everman Parkway.
I've
been watching Narcos here lately, so.
I got a coffee table, dude, with a mirror top on it if you want it.
Yeah. So some
I
guy
call it my
asked about my
cocaine
hat,
table.
apparently.
Yeah.
It's just a standard buy it at Tractor Supply Company Como welding hat.
There you go.
My favorite is the brown polka dot. That's one I wear the most.
Yeah, no, I hadn't seen you in that one in a bit.
I have one in my toolbox. It's all different body style Mustangs. I just never had
Imagine
one.
that. I used to have one that had dollar bills all over it. I retired that one.
Man.
Money
But I
maker.
Got the old flame head going on last couple days.
We need to get you some green lenses. There's a, who is it? I can't remember the guy's name. There's a guy on YouTube I saw that put green lenses in his glasses. He said it was to give him money vision.
Money vision.
Money vision.
What a douche.
I got those white glasses that I wear. They're $100 bills.
Oh yeah, I've
Sunglasses.
seen those.
They're pretty cool. I got those at the Money Factory where they actually make the
Yep. We need to do a tour there
Treasury, whatever it is
sometime.
in Fort
The
Worth.
mint.
The mint.
Yep.
They don't do everything there. It's only like quarters and nickels or something.
When I was there, they only ran the $100 bill.
Oh, is that what it is?
And dude, there was like pallets as big as Keenan's toolbox.
Yeah, last
4x4
time I was there, they
by
were doing
4.
that. It was
They
been a
said
while,
it was,
but
4x4x4 was like $30 some odd million or something on each pallet.
Were they sending one over for the Bel Air?
Yeah. So we got the compressors in. We got 3 different ones. 96 to 01 Cobra. The one that comes on the 5015 up GT. This one is actually a 96 to some odd Cobra also. I think the only difference is where the actual lines come out. So we're going to try to make it to where it'll clear our A-arms, our up A-arms. There's not much room there. So we're going to try to get these fittings on the back to allow our lines to be up and out of the way and not rubbing against stuff and crammed in there like we don't know what we're doing. Ride Tech, it's actually like similar to a coilover, but it does use a coilover body, mounts to the top. It's got a spring that goes around. It sits in a bucket just like a normal spring, coil spring. And then the A-arms that came with this kit, bolted those in, bolted the uppers on. The uppers actually do hit this spring perch, so we're probably gonna trim these out a little bit, put those back on, put a spindle and brakes on just to see where it's at. And then I went ahead and also mocked up the starter to make sure we weren't too close to the frame rail. Yeah, I don't know if I could get in there, but mocked up the starter, see how much room we're gonna have for the headers, how much room we got up against the frame rail. And then, like I said, we'll put the upper arm back in there just to make sure. And also have these little bolts kind of, you can imagine the AC compressor is going to sit here.
it's gonna be tight.
So as I was talking about, by the time you get those AC lines coming out, they're going to be really close to the A-arms and this mount. So that's why we're trying a couple different compressors to make sure everything fits nice and tight, but we can still access it and bolt it all in together and it not be a pain in the butt. And then
Well, show me what you've done inside.
we actually got the firewall bent radius the way I wanted. Got it pretty much square. Already got it spot welded in down at the bottom just to keep it kind of stiffened up. So now I'm mocking up the windshield wipers. He wants to keep the wipers, but he wanted to shave the cowl. So we shaved the cowl already. Kind of finishing up on it today. Getting some of the highs and low spots out of it, hammer and dollying it the best we can. And then radius in this edge to match the hood, the factory hood, which we probably won't be able to use because of the blower. But so we're making everything sealed up nice and tight. Firewall is pretty much done. And I also made a, you might be able to see it from that side there. Also made this driver's side toe board, and it's actually part of the upper section of the firewall, but it's actually on the outside of the engine bay. So I made this panel off from scratch, put a couple bead rolls in it to kind of match the factory stuff. And then what my plan is to get these wipers in here, get the motor mounted, and I have another bracket that we just bought off eBay or somewhere that's supposed to be coming. So we'll bolt this in like that, so it'll have like factory wipers and all that stuff still on it. So it'll look factory from the outside minus the cowl, but hopefully all that stuff will work. And then we'll get ready to put the dash back in probably in a couple weeks and finish out the trans-tunnel, all that jazz once we get the rest of our pieces to the puzzle here. So it's moving along. Not anything real crazy, but it's moving along. I also made, put the factory hinges back on, that way we can check the hood. It definitely doesn't, the blower sticks up too high, so you can't close the factory hood with the blower that we have for this. But I went ahead and bolted the hinges in. Then I made these little pockets that actually go from this section to the firewall to close that off and seal it up. Because all of these panels are actually going to get cut out. Before we weren't going to do that, but we are now. So I'm going to cut this whole engine bay panel out. We're going to put new sheet metal in there, and it'll actually weld. The way I have it cut, I'll go around this hinge pocket. That way it has a factory hinge pocket. Of course, it'll be body worked and painted and all that stuff. But put those new panels in, weld them out, and I've already made them out of paper, paper templates. Put them on sheet metal, and then cut them out. They're actually just flat sheet metal, but they will end up being set in there in the engine bay just like that. Cut out around the A-arms so it has clearance. Put a couple bends on them and some bead rolls, make it look nice. And then cut this section out, tack them together, weld it out eventually. Probably do that after we get the car off the table though. So it's coming along. It's slow process, but there's a lot of fabrication involved in this car. There's so much stuff we're trying to fit under the hood. So you have to fit intercooler tank, radiator tank, power steering reservoir. I mean, there's a lot going into this car. Still got to figure out the power steering pump. I did mock up the brackets for it, so it's going to get a power by the hour bracket for that also. I think the pump's going to be here tomorrow, so I can hopefully bolt that up tomorrow. But that's pretty much it, man. We're one step closer to the edge, I guess. But I'd like to be a little further along than what we are, but it takes time, especially in the fabrication zone. Sometimes it feels like you work on something for like 3 or 4 days and you barely make any progress. But it's part of the beast, I guess. I think everything's turning out very nice. I mean, it's bolted in there. That's what I haven't seen very many of these. I've seen one car that was done up as a show car with a Coyote in it. I think it was a 62 or 63, maybe a 63 Falcon. It was pretty sharp. The only thing I didn't like was the firewall that they did on the firewall. They cut the cowl and just went straight down, so it looked like all this didn't really flow together. I think this flows a little bit better. We should be able to hide the wiring and stuff too, make it a little nicer. Just kind of make it look more crisp and better flowing, I guess you'd say. I'm happy with it so far. So that's our little 65 Falcon update. Coyote swapped, big blower, crazy horsepower. I don't know how much it's supposed to be. Mini tub, and I don't know whatever else we're going to throw at it, but that's it.